have to judge each horse a little differently because each horse has a different background, experience, and personality, and way that they learn. Hi guys, it is a chilly day out here in northwestern Colorado. Been getting a couple horses worked today, and in the round pen I have here Mercy. Mercy, I don't know how old she is at all. She's probably mid-aged, younger mid-aged. She is an ex-Bronc, so she came from the Three Hills Ranch. She is, I think, our second biggest horse. I think our biggest horse is Max, who's a full Percheron. Mercy is draft cross. That's very common amongst bucking horses. And we're going to try to get her riding at some point. She has gotten her time to just adjust to humans, and last spring, so spring of 2023, she did have a halter on her. I don't think we started lead training. We might have done a little bit, but we didn't, at least I didn't do really anything with her. And as far as I know, that was the only time she's ever had a leading halter on her. She was bucked in a couple of rodeos, but was kind of a fail bronc. She didn't buck as hard as what rodeo requires anymore. So, you know, she has potential to be a great riding horse, and a lot of bucking horses do. And we're going to try to bring that out of her. She is a very, very well-built horse. She maintains her feet incredibly well, and she is great in the herd. She's the lead mare, and she's just a really nice horse. I really like her. She is mostly used to people touching her and petting on her and stuff. And she has, in the past, let me pet her butt and whatever. But that was just loose out in the pasture. This is the first time she's been worked purposefully in over a year, so almost 2 years. So yeah, because it is November the 20th today, I believe, of 2024. So we're gonna go through it all. I have a halter that should fit her fine. I actually made this halter with the intention that it could fit her and could be used on other horses. So yeah, I think it's a little buggy whip. I'm not exactly sure what type of whip it is, but it's long. It's probably 5 foot, and it has a little tail on it. It might be 5.5 feet. Yeah, probably close to 5.5 feet. I'm 5'6", so that gives you reference to how tall this deal is. And it's good for reaching out, petting them. Oh. Good girl. So I'm out of the way from her strike zones and can touch her and whatever. She's pretty cool, so I don't think I honestly need this, but I'm going to go through the process as if I were starting out with an unhandled horse or a Mustang or anything, just to make sure we check off all of our foundation boxes. So that is what we're going to do today. We're going to try to work for about an hour. The sun goes down real early here, so just because the hill blocks a lot of sunlight. So going to try to get a session in with her today before I get chores done. So I'm just going to go around her and see if I can get her to draw in over here. We'll see. I don't know. She's kind of chilling right there, not wanting to move. We'll walk around her a little bit, see if we can build some draw and kind of get her off the fence. So I'm going to just put some pressure behind her. Good. She looked towards me. And ideally I'm trying to build her going around me, so just a little bit of that shift in weight, and that look towards me, I'll accept. Good. Good girl. Touching those legs. She's fine with me touching those legs. Standing at her side so that she doesn't kick out a little harder. She is bigger, so those feet can get a lot closer to me than, you know, any of the little Mustangs I've worked with and stuff. There we go. Towards me. Good girl. Yes. I like that. Yes. Good girl. Go back up. Look at her. Look at her. Face towards me. Move away. Yes. Good girl. We're going to have to get her softened up too, yielding to pressure. But I'll accept this for right now, since this is something we need to get her, or I can just walk up to her and pet her. I'll use a stick now, the handle side of my stick, I guess. The stickier side of my stick. Good girl. You are such a pretty horse. Oh, this guy's a little bit not the same. Good. So she stopped there. So I'm releasing the pressure. Obviously she's not the same as she was on the other side. So I'm taking the little bits. With all of this you have to break up the pieces. So in order for me to get a halter on her, which is what I want to do, what are all of the steps that she has to do and that I have to do to allow me to put a halter on her? So I have to be able to walk up to her. I have to be able to touch her and her stand still. I have to be able to put my arm over her head and her stand still. I have to put my arm under her jaw and her hold still. I have to have her nose pointing sort of towards me so that it's easier for me to put the halter on. I have to be able to touch her with the halter and everything. And I have to be able to slide that halter over her nose. And then I have to be able to get my arm over grabbing that tail end, which is probably going to flick over because she's pretty tall. And she has a big head, so it's going to be easier for me to kind of do it quickly. So I have to be able to move my arm quickly over her head and for the crown to flick over. Then I have to be there and be able to tie it next to her eye. So I have to be able to do all sorts of stuff next to her eye. So, like her pointing her face towards me, that's something that I need to reward for. Her standing still at any point, I need to reward her for. Her relaxing like she really is right now. She looks like she's going to fall asleep. She's blinking and her eyes are small and her lip is very relaxed. And she's just calm. So I'm just letting her experience this. But then he's like, hey, big girl, I can pet you on this side. If I can't pet her on on this side, you can't put the halter over her head, because I need this side to be okay for me to touch. Good girl. Yes. I'm going to back up, taking all the pressure off of her, because even me just being present, that can be a pressure for a very friendly horse. Removing yourself can be the pressure, so you just have to gauge your horse. Obviously, with unhandled horses or minimally handled horses, removing yourself is almost guaranteed the release, but you have to judge each horse a little differently because each horse has a different background, experience, and personality, and way that they learn. I know there are some horses that I would absolutely not do this approach with right off the bat. I'm going to pet her with my stick. Notice how my hand's a little bit farther up the stick. I'm not on the handle. Closer. Good girl. Give me just a little bit more. Gonna have a little bit more. Now asking you to back up. Bring your nose in the knee. Okay. So what she did there, oh good, that's what I want. So I want her to stand still and I want her to kind of face me a little bit so that she's focusing on me and not just disassociating. Horses do that. When we started, she was on the verge of disassociating. I don't think she was fully trying to shut me off, but it was definitely a little bit there, a little bit of a thought. I mean, honestly, I feel the same. Horses are very relatable. They don't have all the same emotions humans do, but they have a lot of the same emotions humans do. And we can learn a lot from horses, just how we live our lives. I don't know if I actually got to my point, but when she relaxed there, she was backing up because she thought that was what I was asking her to do. She was trying to move off the pressure, which is a good thing, we need that. But in that instance, I was trying to be relaxed and just pet her with my stick. And she's backing up and she's trying to figure out the puzzle. So she's trying to figure out what I wanted. And she's moving her head, moving her feet, and tensing and relaxing muscles, just trying to figure out what I was wanting. This is a puzzle for them, and you can't just give them the answer because they don't understand English. But it was funny when I was saying just a little bit more, just give me a little bit more. She was backing up, seeing if that was what I was wanting a little bit more of. But I was looking for when she rotated her pole a little bit into me and wasn't so just straight on. I want her to try to find a connection with me and not just accept everything. So, I want her to accept everything, but I want her to look for it. I don't want her to just say that there's nothing there, nothing, no pressure, nothing wrong. I want her to be expressive, and a little bit of that is she has to pay attention a little bit to me so we can have a conversation. Because obviously, yes, you can have a conversation with somebody who's just at your side, but the best conversations you're looking at them. There's a big yawn. Good girl. Such a good girl. Good girl. She's really releasing. She's getting those endorphins or dopamine or whatever. Releasing that jaw. Oh, she's big yawns. So she is relaxing and going into sleepy mode, which is kind of what we want. Sweet girl, huh? figuring out this puzzle. I interrupt this. Tell me when you're done. He's still chewing. There you go. Good girl. Can I join your space? Over here? Oh, sweet girl. There was a little bit of a, hey, what you doing? Huh? What'd you see? You see a deer? I think there's some deer over there. I don't know exactly what they are. I don't have my glasses on, so I think it's a deer. But they notice all those little things. I would have never known there was a deer there until she looked there. So, oh, there's multiple deer. See, they notice things a lot better than we do. Space. I'm gonna go in for a touch, kind of at her ribs. There, she had a conversation with me. She kind of tuned into me. Now we're talking. So, she wasn't sure of my hand, and she's like, okay, let's talk about this. So even though she was a little bit nervous, she expressed it and kind of looked to me to say, hey, instead of just avoiding. I'm going to see if I can remove my stick to start petting her. Because this is a new environment. Like, this isn't our normal. So, I want to have a conversation with her about, all of this. And she hasn't been in a round pen in a long time. So she said, I'll reach out to you, you don't reach out to me right now. So, she's meeting me where we're trying to get. So, that was a very good thing. Come enjoy her space. Hey, can we talk? Thank you, girlie. I'm just softly touching her on the shoulder, like on the back of her shoulder, kind of a little bit in front of where I had been touching her. She said, okay, we can do this. That's alright. And her ears are very relaxed. So, I know a lot of times in the horse world, especially when you're new to horses, you're told if the horse's ears are back, that means they're mad. It's not always the case. You have to look for if they're tense and back. If they're tense and back, the horse is cranky or angry or disgruntled. But relaxed back can just literally be them relaxing, and that's just how their ears fall. Sometimes it's listening. So I'm pretty sure she's probably listening to those deer out there, and she's probably listening to the highway, and maybe some of the birds around that are kind of behind us. That's where a lot of the noises are coming from right now. They're very quiet, but I'm sure she can hear them a lot better than I can. And she's also listening to me. I'm over here talking, and so she's listening to all those different things. But she's very, very relaxed right now. I'm very pleased with this. And she's just saying, okay, we can be friends. Let's chill. Let's hang out. So her eyes are blinking. They're basically closed, but she's blinking a lot. And she's flicking her ears. See, that one ear is facing all of her herd. And this other is kind of facing me, but it's also kind of facing all the stuff going on behind me. And she's just listening. Ooh, good girl. Like, why aren't you coming over here? I thought you were coming over here. I'm going to accept that conversation. But yes, that's what I want. Then I'll join your space now because I think that's what you're saying. Will you reach out to me? I think she'll reach out to me. Good. I'm going to come back over here towards her. Oh, I really like that. I wish you guys could see that well on camera. Eventually, I will have better videoing capabilities, but that was really cool. So what she did, she had been rocking her weight and whatever, and as soon as I came over, she took a step towards me and put her body into me. Like this. Yes! Ah! Feels like a girl. This is what I want. Ah! You're such a pretty girl. She's like saying hi and very relaxed and joining my space, which this is so good. She's like falling asleep now. Okay. Oh, sorry. Training horses can make you emotional, and a lot of people say you should never be emotional when you're training a horse, but I kind of think the opposite. I think the horse wants you to be completely genuine with yourself and completely genuine with them and not put on a front, because if you're asking your horse to not put on a front, you shouldn't put on a front. And so a lot of people would have completely stepped out of the round pen as soon as she started facing up, because, you know, for me, that's a little bit of a, you know, almost happy tears. And I know she would do this, but she reminds me of one of my other horses. And she's a really cool horse. So, her joining my space is pretty nice. I'm going to see if I can join her at her shoulder, get in her relationship zone on her more confident side. And she's eyeballing me too. They're making their way over here. I'm going to reach out. She wasn't really paying attention to me. That probably wasn't the best timing to reach out to her. Oh, there she's joining my space again. Hi, sweet girl. Too much? Okay, I'll join you right here. Horses like having conversations with you, and they will tell you everything. And even stoic horses, like she kind of is, will have a conversation with you and will have kind of a heart-to-heart with you if you just listen. They talk through body language. They really talk through their eyes and their nose, their mouth. They have all 5 senses in their face. So horses have sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch in their face. And that's how they really communicate. She's joining my space again. Hi, sweet girl. She knows what I was wanting, and she senses my emotions. She can read me like a book. And I'm trying to get better at reading horses like a book. I don't always read a horse very good. But all of her communication right here is saying, join me, and I want to join you, which is absolutely what I want. She's telling me with her ears. She's hearing what I'm saying. She's smelling me. She's looking at me. She's probably, thinking of food. Right. And she's filling me out. And her ears are relaxed. They're flopping around. Her eyes are almost shut, but she's blinking frequently. Horses will not blink unless they can relax. So they will let their eyeballs dry out before they say, I'm going to let myself get hurt. So blinking is a huge thing. But it's like for us, when we're tired, we blink a lot. If you watch little kids, when they get tired, they blink a lot and they try to stay awake, but they just keep blinking. Horses are the same. When they relax, they blink their eyes a lot. You can also tone their lip. They'll relax their jaw. Like humans relax their jaw. When they get relaxed, horses will relax their jaw, and so their lip will droop. Their bottom lip will just fall down. Which, if you look at hers, it's very floppy. I could probably, if she was comfortable with it, I could probably play with her lip fully and her be okay. She's taking big deep breaths like she did right there, and so you can see that in their nose. They breathe softly. They'll take big deep breaths because they won't get enough oxygen to their brain when they're relaxing down. It's like us, we yawn and we'll take a big deep breath when we relax because we're trying to get oxygen to our brain so our lungs don't work as hard. At least that's how I see it. Horses do the same. It's really cool. I'm going to see if I can join her space. It's getting really cold. The sun's going behind the mountain, and I am freezing my butt off. Just join her space right here. This is their friendship zone. So between their drive line, which is about their withers behind the shoulder, to about their ear, is their relationship zone. They stand side by side when they're friends. It's like us when we walk side by side. You're usually friends. You don't walk in front of each other. If you think about the 3 friends on a sidewalk fit for 2, you can tell who's the better friend by who walks side by side and who walks behind. Horses are very similar. If they walk side by side and stand side by side, they're typically better friends than the one that follows behind. So I want to be her friend by her side. And she's saying, I like you more up towards my ear. My shoulder is at her ear right now, and she put herself in the spot. I'm probably not going to get a halter on her, but I think we're making really good progress to where I want to be with her. Obviously, I have to be by her side to put a halter on. I don't want to expect too much of her. I want to make the fun stuff for humans and the useful stuff for humans, but enjoyable. So part of that is having these conversations and letting her know that it's still new for us. I want her to know that we can have conversations, that it's not all this. That wind is cold. Hey girl. Alright. But I'm gonna leave her space for a second. Grab this halter, try to introduce it. I don't plan to put it on with how cold it got. I wanted to go start chores and get done. But there's licking shoes. She's releasing her jaw from any bit of tension she had. But I want to just show her this so that maybe tomorrow we can have a conversation about the halter, not just me being present with her. I'm trying to get where I'm asking to be in her space, and I'm going to see if she'll just come to my space. Look really pretty and purple girly. So. So she's like, yeah, you have a halter, whatever. Can I pet you? Unsure. She's staying relaxed, but I want her to investigate it. Here you go. Good girl. She investigated and she's being present with me. She's kind of saying she's done. I need to take a step around. Do I need to right up at your ear? Tell me. That's her best friend right there. Best friend in the whole wide world. So she's like, hey, Major, hi. Major, don't be stupid. But we might be at a really good stopping point. She's probably distracted a little bit. Okay. She gave me amazing air, so I just let her understand what this is, instead of just forcing it or saying no. Like, obviously she still wants to be with me. There. Investigation. She's tasting it. So, that was really good. I'm just taking my time with her. I know a lot of people want to rush their horses and like get through them, but I've kind of adopted this, almost, I guess it's a philosophy that the horse doesn't owe you anything, but you owe the horse everything. So I mean, there are things that you do have to get through, and you do have to press them, and you have to press them a little harder than I really like to press them. But this sort of stuff builds a better foundation. And for her, it's not about, I'm not trying to train her or do anything with her to get her care. There are horses that I've had to press hard and had to push them a little harder than, ideal, because they needed care. They had to do something so that they could, be healthy and happy and whatever, which that is fully something you have to do. But we can handle her enough, and she maintains herself enough that she doesn't need a whole lot of human intervention, at least in the immediate time. And when she has had to have human intervention, sedation has been what they've used for her. So you can sedate without having to handle them. It's a little bit more expensive and a little harder to access, but it's not possible. This horse is also familiar with chutes, so she's a bucket horse, so she's been through chutes and stuff, so if we needed to, we could set up a dummy chute and take care of her. But this is just purely for human and not the horse. So I'm having a conversation with her. Yes, there will be times I'll probably have to press her a little bit to, achieve what we're wanting to achieve, but it's like anything. Good girl. Like anything, sometimes you have to challenge yourself and to get better. And sometimes the horse doesn't know what you're trying to look for and whatever, and what you're trying to achieve. So sometimes you do have to challenge them a little bit, but I try not to push the horse too much. I'm just kind of rambling. I'm cold. My feet, I can feel them. So, yeah. How about riding with me a little bit longer? We'll go join Major. I know. Over here and open up the gate. Oh, sweet girl. Let's go. Feel like that was a pretty decent session with her. It was really good just to not have things be crazy, be very calm and mindful. That's cold. The wind's starting to blow cold. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And stay tuned for more equine shenanigans and also updates on Mercy. So, yeah. I also have a couple of affiliate links with the Modern Cowgirl and Coro. The Modern Cowgirl is a small business that does Western graphic tees and all sorts of stuff specifically for cowgirls, horsey girls, women in the Western world. So they're really cute. I would definitely go check it out. My affiliate link's in the description below, and I also have an affiliate link with Coro, which is a one-stop shop for a lot of your horsey needs. So they cover Back on Track, Professional's Choice, amongst other brands. So go check them out at my affiliate link. That's also linked below. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode. In the next video. Whatever.